welcome to Off the Edge, Season 2, Episode 2. Today we have the one, the only, Jarrett Luker. He is the bassist for Ghosts in the Atlantic, which if you've listened to last season, Episode 4, we had some of the guys from Ghosts of the Atlantic in here. It was an awesome podcast. We got pretty ridiculous. Jarrett is the bass player of that awesome gent metal kind of band. He's also a fantastic woodworker, and that's why we brought him on today. Well, we'll talk about Ghosts of the Atlantic too, I'm sure, but we've been super impressed by Jarrett, your woodworking skills, man. So one, thank you very much for coming.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, it's our pleasure for sure. Real quick, man, give everyone your Instagram page. Where can the people check this stuff out? Because I was blown away by it.
I think it's jl.woodworks, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
I think that's it.
jl.woodworks on Instagram. Go check that out. I mean, right off the bat, what really caught my attention is there were some like coffee tables that you did, like I don't know. I know shit about woodworking, so I'm going to learn a lot probably on this podcast. But kind of like almost how guitars have, it's like a piece of wood, and then it's like.
Did it have like a blue base and a red top?
Yes.
Yeah, herringbone pattern.
Yeah. It's super cool. It's like mirror image, kind of like coming to the center.
Yep.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm side note, I'm in the process of closing on a new house, and we're going to need some furniture. I'm just like,
okay.
All right, man.
Yep, just hit me up.
All right. Cool.
What, when did you get into woodworking?
Hot and heavy, probably like 3 years ago, but it started off with a project that me and my wife did at our old house we used to live in. We built a deck on the back of it.
Okay.
And I really didn't have anything for woodworking, so that kind of started it all.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, it's
usually it's like a school thing or a family thing or something like that. I learned a lot in high school. Did a lot of woodworking then, and I know enough to make me think I can do things, and then I get deep into it and I'm like, shit, why did I do this?
I get there a lot.
Yeah.
It's probably part of the process. Right?
Here's
my woodworking horror story. Okay. I enrolled for high school 9th grade year. I went to my first day. I had German 1, okay, was on my class. I went to that classroom, and there was a senior government class going on in that classroom. I was like, I'm here for German. They're like, what? What are you talking about? Like, go to the office. We don't have German and German language. Okay. They said, all right, well, somehow you slipped through the cracks. You can be in home ec or you can be in wood, because that's all we have room for now. I'm like, I guess woodworking is like the more manly thing to do, so put me in there. And God damn it, I squeaked out of there barely passing because I suck at it.
I get myself in trouble looking at people on Instagram, like other woodworkers, and seeing all the awesome stuff they do. And then I think I can do that. It's not very easy.
You can, but it's like anything. It takes practice.
Yeah.
And woodworking is as bad as music, as bad as video, as bad as cars. There is gear out the wazoo, and there's lots of cool little jigs and all kinds of crazy shit. And you're like, oh, I need this. I need this. I've got some stuff that I bought and I have yet to use. I haven't done any woodworking shit for like years.
For many a moon.
Yeah. Aside from, deck work and stuff like that. But, I had envisioned, and of course, this is going to get broached because not only are you a bass player, but you are a guitar player as well. Was in a very, very good band. One of my favorites from the area, Aeromont.
Mm-hmm.
And when are you going to start making guitars?
I've thought about it. but I don't have everything I need to do that. I need a bandsaw.
Yeah.
I mean, I could get a cheap one, but I don't know. I think a more expensive one that I can't afford right now would make it a lot easier.
I think it would, because I have a cheap one.
Yeah. I had a cheap one at one time, and it was a piece of junk.
Yeah.
It doesn't cut it.
No.
This pun brought to you by The Beard Struggle.
Beardstruggle.com.
Yeah, we haven't done any.
We have not been plugging our sponsors at all. But
Well,
go to the beard. All right. I'm sorry. Tangent. But I saw that the beardstruggle.com. I might need to get this. They've got a little thing with like micro pins or micro needles or something that you like. It's supposed to promote growth for patchy beards. Have you seen this?
I haven't.
Yeah, I'm like, I need that shit, dude, because I've got like this beard over, kind of comb over thing, hiding my patchiness over on the side. Maybe I need to. Maybe that's what I need.
I wouldn't look at that. So
no, I know you don't have that problem.
Yeah, you're pretty solid there.
Actually,
now I feel more self-conscious. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Any bald patchiness, I just grow over. That's the trick.
Do you remember the promo code?
Off the Edge 15.
I believe it is Off the Edge 15. If you want to get your beard game on point, go to thebeardstruggle.com.
Yeah, their oils
code
are really good.
Yeah, awesome scents too. All right. Enough with the selfless.
Back to the wood. I bet there's some woody fragrances that you can get from the Beard Struggle.
I love some sandalwood.
Yeah. I might. Yep.
All right. So yeah, bandsaws, guitars, maybe in the future, maybe some guitars, maybe.
Yeah, I would like to try at least one.
Yeah.
I built a dual guitar body in woodshop my senior year.
Like a double neck thing?
Yeah. And I had two necks. I still have the necks, 12-string neck and just a regular 6-string neck. And by the time, this thing sat in my garage for a good decade. By the time I got to the point where I'm going to try and put this together, the glue joint in the middle just gave. It's just like, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was solid maple, and then I had 2 walnut strips down either side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like, what would be the backside? There's a strip. Then you had the middle, and then before you got to the horn, because it was like kind of a telly shape, just doubled.
Right.
And so that was my dream. It was dashed.
Huh.
Humidity got it, huh?
Yeah, I've still got, and again, it goes to decades. I've got 3 slabs of hackberry. Now, have you ever messed with hackberry?
No.
It's very fibrous. So when you cut into it, a lot of the fibers. I mean, it's just real kind of stringy, soft wood, I guess.
Like splintery. Like if you cut into it, it'll kind of get jagged.
But the grains are awesome. It's very, very spalted.
Oh yeah.
And it will go from white to a deep brown, but there are greens in it. I actually made a hope chest for my wife's sister, and it turned out really cool. And it, just clear poly on that, and it came alive. But it had the black spalt lines, and it's cool wood. So I've been setting on 3 slabs of that for 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. She's exactly 10 years younger than me. So she's 35. So maybe 20 years.
Wow.
Because it was a graduation present.
Nice and dry.
Yikes. Yeah, it should be dried out.
Pretty well aged.
Yeah. But that's very cool wood. I don't know how it would be as a tone wood.
Here, give me your opinion, because you're the expert here. Huh. Guitars are usually made from hardwood.
Yeah.
I've never personally heard like one made from a softer wood, but I would think that it would have a warmer tone. Is that? Am I just making that up, or
I could speculate. I would say probably it might be a little warmer. Maybe I don't.
There are in fact a lot of people out there that make pine guitars, and that's about as soft as a wood that you're gonna make a guitar out of.
Right.
You know, I've watched a lot of videos on tone woods and, you know, the debate on whether it makes a difference. I think sustain is more, I think sustain would be more of an dense issue versus soft than actual tone.
Right. I mean, so you probably have not as much sustain with the softwood.
I would think it wouldn't reverberate as much.
Yeah.
But again, that just kind of goes to, you know, what is deadening the sound waves? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I can talk out my ass, but
yeah,
right.
I don't have any input on that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess it takes some experiment. Get on it, Jarrett.
Yeah.
Come on,
homework.
I'll try.
we need some experimentation going on here.
But you know, there's so many builders out there that are using epoxies now. And or just building solid acrylic or aluminum
or composite graphite stuff.
Yeah. The stuff they're doing with epoxy is crazy, because there are guys out there that, like, there's one that was all colored pencils. So he made a form of colored pencils, then poured the epoxy over it, and then cut it and shaped
I've
it.
seen
and all that stuff.
guys do us with like with broken and used up skateboard decks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That's pretty rad.
You know,
as someone that skated a lot when I was younger, like that, I was like, "That's fucking dope."
I don't think the bodies would be that big a deal. I think the neck is the most intimidating part to me, at least.
To make
Yeah.
from scratch.
Yeah.
That would be.
I would fuck up the frets. Like I would not do the math right. Or, you know, I would screw that.
Look,
up so bad.
I'm struggling that with the one I modded. So, you know.
Yeah.
But so.
Measure once, cut twice. Is that?
No, that's usually what ends up happening. No, measure 14 times,
right,
Yeah.
and then cut halfway through and readjust.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Measure, walk over, write it down.
Just
remember yourself.
Yeah.
Like, oh wait.
Yeah.
Just remember, save your sawdust, little wood glue. You got a homemade putty.
Yeah. You never
Fill in your mistakes.
You never know. That's what makes a good woodworker, hiding your mistakes.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. Right.
You make
That
a
and
lot
paint,
of them.
as opposed to stain.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to stain that. No, I felt like paint, solid color was good. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
again, on the coffee tables that you did, and there was more than one. I think there was a couple on there. Just the beautiful stain on them.
Thank you.
That, I mean, you could see all the green. God damn! I'm just like, I want that.
Wood is very, very cool.
Yeah.
It really is.
It has character and
Yeah.
warmth.
The one you're talking about, I think it was made out of ash wood.
Ash,
you know.
okay.
It looks kind of like oak, but a little different. It's not quite as hard.
All right.
It's really hard to find ash wood actually nowadays because it's been overtaken by a beetle. Pretty much wiped out all of them.
Wow.
Well, it doesn't hurt that most guitars are ash anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're sucking up the supply.
Most of the ash comes from Canada, I believe, now because America's been overrun by a beetle.
Right. Okay.
When I first started, I built the deck, obviously, and I kind of liked working with it all and stuff. And I was supposed to build my wife a coffee table.
You're still working on it.
Yeah, I have yet to do that. That's been about 5 years ago.
There's a planning phase.
One of the coffee tables on the Instagram page was actually hers, and she posted it on Facebook, and somebody wanted to buy it, so we sold it to her instead.
Yeah,
well, that's her fault. Then.
Yeah, that's on her.
And I was supposed to build her another one, and I never have.
Oh,
you're working on it. It's got to be special.
Yep.
Yeah. Like a 10th anniversary present.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. You got some time. You got some goals.
Couple years.
all right. Maybe Valentine's Day 2022.
There we go. Yeah.
So you are also a new dad.
I am.
How's that working out for you?
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been pretty fun. Been a learning experience.
There's not enough planning, not enough story.
There's never a perfect time.
No.
That's not how it works.
It's always on his time.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old is your
He
boy?
just turned 3 months today.
Oh wow, he's itty bitty then.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So sleep is on the horizon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it will happen.
Luckily for me,
Again, on his time.
yeah, probably. I don't sleep much anyway, so it hasn't been that much of a change.
Right.
His mom, though, on the other hand, she loves sleep, and it's been pretty rough on her.
I'm sure. Yeah.
The sacrifices we make.
Yeah. But I tell you what, man, like my youngest daughter is she's about to turn
3.
Turn 3 in April. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for knowing how old my kids are.
I pay attention.
You know, when they get to be, 2.5, 3, I'll tell you that's the most exciting, fun time because they're starting to really look around at the world and understand what things are, and they're seeing it for the first time, and it makes you kind of like experience it for the first time again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I forgot what it's like to just be amazed by this thing that I take for granted every day.
Yeah.
And that's just one of the many gifts and beauties of kids. It's pretty amazing.
I'd say 2 to 7, and then it's pretty much downhill until they're out of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also have a 16-year-old daughter, and she's very much teenager-y right now. Like,
yeah,
it's hard.
He just turned 3 months today, and I worked last night, so I got off at 5 this morning. So my wife took him to her aunt's to watch a little bit while I slept, and I went and picked him up when I woke up. And he's seen me, and he's getting to the point where he smiles a lot and laughs. And he's seen me, and he laughed real big or smiled real big and started kicking his feet, wanting me to pick him up.
Awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's a great feeling.
Yeah. Knowing that he's recognizing you now and stuff.
Yeah. When they get that and then when he starts just talking and it's a dada or a mama stuff, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. It's like, no, not you, mommy. Daddy does it. It's like, yeah, suck it. I do it.
Yeah. Anybody that tells you parenting is not a competition is bullshit. It is fully a competition.
It's already started. Yeah. She took the full 3 months off for maternity leave, and so she had a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
And she went back to work.
Great.
She went back to work Actually, this week was her first week back.
Man.
Or no, last week was. Yeah, last week. So I got the whole week with him pretty much. So I kind of stole him from her. So she's trying to steal him back.
Yeah. Oh man, that's rough for mamas, and 3 months is probably not enough time.
No, she didn't want to go back at all.
I know. Yeah, I totally understand.
It really is. I think it. I think maternity leave should be at least a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I'm not. It doesn't have to be paid maternity leave. Just guaranteed that you get your job back.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, and so then if people can do a year, then they do a year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that should go both ways. I think if there are a lot of mothers out there that can't sit still. Get stir crazy.
That need to be the breadwinner.
Yeah. So if the dad needs to be have the paternity leave, then
we don't need to be strict on gender roles as far as that's concerned.
No, and I think it would make a huge difference.
I mean, talk about an investment in our future.
Yeah.
Like having kids grow up with a stable, solid foundation.
Yeah.
Go a long ways.
Yep. I think the the modern dream is to just have like a one income household again. Mm-hmm. Before you got here, we were talking different things about the Greatest Generation and stuff like that, and that's what they had.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there were gender roles and gender stereotypes and stuff like that. But, there was.
From an economic standpoint, a household could get by on one income and thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that ceased to exist probably late 70s.
Yeah, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
One of I think I probably mentioned it before on the podcast. Probably going to mention it again, so get used to it. One of my favorite people to like kind of get their take on things is Dr. Eric Weinstein, who is
a
mathematician. Yeah, he's one of the smartest people I think that's out there, and one of the best minds in our country. And he lays out how basically economic growth boomed, had unprecedented. We had unprecedented growth between the end of World War II and about 1971 to 73. And then growth stopped, but everything was predicated on growth. Like all our businesses had what he calls an ego, an embedded growth obligation. So now growth has essentially stopped except for a few sectors like computing, and,
right.
Semiconductors basically. And so now it's a matter of like trying to redistribute wealth and from the bottom up. And that's why, we have such a growing wealth inequality.
Right.
And it's a real problem. So that's all right. That's my rant. But I just like, if that strikes a chord with anybody, if they want to kind of dive into that, like check out Eric Weinstein's podcast, The Portal, and other things that he's on, because that dude is like freakishly smart and amazing. Like I love listening to his stuff. So.
Well, and redistribution of wealth is such a scary phrase for so many people.
Right.
But like you said, it
goes from the bottom up. Yeah.
And
anytime you think about like, hey, how about we stop that? It's like, oh, you want to redistribute wealth from the top down. All these lazy people. It's like, oh, what
my simplest solution for that is
we're far afield from woodworking. I'm sorry, guys.
No.
It'll circle back. Yeah. Because
woodworkers of the world unite.
Yeah, we're gonna get around to deforestation, and then it all comes back. No, my hot take on that is to do away with the minimum wage and institute a minimum profit or a minimum percentage. So a company makes X amount versus, a mom and pop shop that makes X amount. If you're talking billions, I'm making this worse than it needs to be. Simply put, everybody gets a percentage. Instead of a minimum wage, there is a minimum percentage.
Okay.
Yeah. So instead of hoarding the wealth because you have, a great year, you're still getting the same percentage, but your medial workers are getting more because it was a good year. Because like it or not.
Oh, so you're saying like a CEO of a company would get a max out, like say they can only take home 15%. I'm just pulling a number out of the air, but they take 15% of the total profit of the corporation for a year, and the rest is redistributed to it.
Well, but that's a scary word.
Well, all right. Is
paid out?
Paid out.
Think of it like profit sharing. Ultimately.
Yeah.
But
I kind of get where you're going with that.
But
like a monthly bonus.
Well, profit sharing like minimum wage. So, you set a figure for minimum wage which, does nothing to stop inflation.
There's a minimum percentage of the profits that has to be shared equally.
And it doesn't have to be equal.
Oh yeah.
Say the CEO gets 50%.
Can be job based.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But then you take that other 50% and pay it out accordingly per level. So maybe this guy gets 10%, and work it down. I'm muddying the water here, but
I get the gist of what you're saying now.
But instead of being able to hoard wealth, you funnel it you funnel it back into the people that are making your wealth.
Right.
You know what I mean? At one point, I was like, it should be salary caps. And then you penalize people that farm jobs to other countries, stuff like that.
Right.
But I don't think salary caps are the opposite of minimum wage. I don't think a fixed number is the answer. I think if it's
it'd have to be scalable
if it's fluid,
upon the
if it's fluid,
scalable upon based upon the success of any given
right. And so what
company.
do? You incentivize the lower workers to do better because they're going to get paid more.
I like this idea.
Just fluid income, I guess.
Okay.
Obviously it could go below a threshold, but again, that falls back on everybody involved. If a company's not successful,
Right.
that's everybody.
Yeah.
And that would I think
like
would
that.
incentivize people to be successful.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
I like it.
I like that idea.
I like it a lot.
I think it's worth giving it a shot.
Is it like capitalistic socialism, or is it socialistic capitalism?
I don't know. I mean, it's almost like the democratic socialists or the social democrats, or however you want to put that. Not the Marxists, but those people that are, that they believe in co-ops, as much as possible.
Yeah.
Radical democracy.
I guess let me simplify it in saying
we've got so far into some political shit. I was not expecting this at all, but
especially for me, right?
Wasn't expecting it, but I'm not surprised.
If we want to simplify it, the basic way I can say it is, if you don't want to share your wealth, do it your fucking self. How's that?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Stop milking other people.
Okay, before we totally go away from this, I just want to say, have you guys been paying attention to the subreddit Wall Street Bets and the whole thing with the GameStop stock?
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by this shit.
I know nothing about stocks. Yes, I've seen the headlines, but
I know next to nothing either. But I tell you what, I'm one of those idiots that immediately fucking followed Wall Street Bets on Reddit and started following that stuff because it's fascinating. And let me tell you, dude, I mean, all right, I don't look directly into the camera sometime and address fucking audience, but
this is for the people.
But Reddit user, deep fucking value. You're never going to see this, but I'm going to shout out to you anyway. You're a fucking legend. You're fucking awesome. This guy, he spearheaded the whole thing, has 50,000 shares. Okay. And yesterday he lost. I mean, from the peak to yesterday, it dropped a lot because the hedge funds are driving down the price, trying to recoup their losses on all this. Dude did not sell a single share and was looking at a $50 million loss.
But what did he start with?
Oh yeah, he's still in the black. Don't get me wrong. He's still in the black. Yeah. But to hold to your guns for the principle of sticking it to people, hedge funds that are basically creating counterfeit shares to drive down prices so they can do their short bets. I mean, dude, these people are hardcore. Yeah. So all you diamond-handed motherfuckers out there, dude, holding on to this stock, even though it's taking a big hit, I'm feeling with you. I don't have skin in the game, but goddamn it, I'm with you in spirit. Keep holding that shit. Stick it to the man. Make him pay for it. I hope that you all get fucking rich off this. That's all I got to say. Fucking apes together strong. That's all I gotta say.
So what came first? Is it hedge fund come first or hedging your bets? Because you can't tell me that they're not related.
Oh, I think that's why hedge funds is they hedge. Yeah. They hedge their bets.
Hedge their bets. Yeah. So I wonder where hedge your bets come from.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Etymology geeks out there. Give us
Did it come from a bustle in the hedgerow?
Maybe.
Little Zeppelin reference.
Did you, back on the Wall Street bets thing, I seen today, maybe it was yesterday, that one of the kids that I don't remember how much money he made. He made a lot of money on it. Mm-hmm. He bought, I can't even remember what hospital it was. I don't have a lot of info on this. I just seen a headline for it. But he bought a children's hospital, all the children in there. He bought them a Nintendo Switch.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of stories like that. People have used their winnings on it to pay it forward, so to speak. And that's
awesome,
dude. I mean, that's one that, like this community. Like,
I wish I was that altruistic. There's just so much shit I want.
Yeah. Well, seriously, if you got in that stock at like $8 a share, and then sold it at like $400 a share, and made tens of thousands, if not hundreds of I'm seeing people post, on this deal where they've made hundreds of thousands of dollars. And some, and a lot of them are posting what they're calling loss porn. All this terminology is new to me, and I'm fascinated by all of this. They're loss porn. They're showing like they're losing tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars as it's dipping, and they're in it for the principle of sticking it to, like, they're like, it's scary, but I'm in it. And they say, we hold to the moon because what's the distance to the moon is like 100-something thousand miles. Like they want the stock to reach that number before they sell. And so it's like diamond hands to the moon, dude. It's like, I'm like, the spirit of that is so inspiring to me. I'm just like, yes.
I mean, that's
the people stand up if I can take it back.
That's like going to a casino and trying to stick it to the reservation.
Trying to stick it to the reservation?
Well, yeah, they own the casino.
I wouldn't say that hedge funds are like the American Indians that have got like.
Well, look, if anybody deserves it,
genocide.
I'm like, but But I mean, it's like going into a casino, and you go in. Say you go in with $300, and you plan on losing it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing,
Yeah.
And that's what most of these people started with, probably $300-400.
Yeah.
Most of them buying options and stuff and turning around and selling them for a lot of money.
But those ones that are trying to stick it to the establishment, they're
diamond hands.
They're going in with this money, planning on losing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and everyone's like says on there like, all right, excuse this non-PC fucking word, but everyone's saying like, I'm just a retard. This is not financial advice. Like, do your own due diligence, but I'm holding to the moon and blah, blah, blah. You know, like they're planning on it. Like either they're going to get everything or they'll get nothing. But either way, this goes down in history. I think it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I'm with them in spirit. Like, I think it's badass.
I mean, I think it did bankrupt one of the hedge funds already. So they're doing what they wanted to do with it. I was late to the GameStop party, but they're trying to do it with AMC also.
Yeah, same thing.
I jumped in on that. A couple of guys at work, we kind of, I mean, we're by no means stock experts, but we know enough to get ourselves in trouble.
Right, yeah.
So hopefully AMC takes off like that.
Yeah, it's definitely dipped down quite a bit here the past 2 days. So
hedge funds,
if you want to get in on it, like get in on it now. And you might make a little bit.
I think the biggest takeaway of all of this is just the strength and unity. You know?
Yeah.
When we're, it's such a weird way to try and bring everybody together. But it's like whatever it takes. You know?
I'm all about that. Like, man, united we stand, divided we fall, and so much of the things that we hear on the news and from our politicians is just there to divide us so that we can be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And if we as Americans just stand together against corrupt bullshit, we would force their hand to do what they're supposed to do. And
it's cool because it's like this non-violent approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure some of the hedge fund managers that were losing their ass got pretty violent, but
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, the Reddit people had some pretty big names on their sides too. They had like Elon Musk rooting for him and Mark Cuban from Dallas Mavericks.
I just saw that. Actually, I just was reading before this podcast. I was reading Mark Cuban actually went on there and said, "Ask me anything."
Yeah,
and he was just answering questions from Joe Schmo, fucking user, Reddit users.
Yep,
like that's badass.
Yeah.
But I can't remember who you said started it, but
Deep Fucking Value. Or I don't know if he started it, but he's definitely one of the leaders of the movement. Yeah.
To figure,
I got into it like after the big headlines, so I don't know from the start.
Yeah, I don't know who started it or anything, but to pull what hedge funds do to everybody else on themselves. And to figure that out, how to do that and spread it throughout the whole country is pretty awesome.
Because goddamn, it's complicated.
Yeah,
it's super complicated. If you don't have some kind of it'd be really hard to understand the nuance involved and the complexity involved if you were just self-taught.
Yeah,
it's over my head. A lot of it's way over my head.
If there's one thing that the human race is just completely and totally gifted with, is finding ways to fuck each other over.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, if there's a loophole to find as a species, we will find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that probably comes from our tribal roots, and trying to, gain at the expense of the rival tribe. And
go watch Caveman with Ringo Starr. That explains it all.
I'm totally unaware of this movie.
You've never seen?
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
All right.
Do some deep dive. Yeah.
Okay.
YouTube black hole or what?
I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but it's an 80s prehistoric flick with Ringo
Starr. Okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Ringo Starr, Shelley Duvall.
Really?
Yeah. Barbara Bach.
I don't know that name.
She was one of the 80s hottie icons.
Okay.
Who else is in it? I can't remember. I don't know. It's great. It's got some stop motion dinosaurs and
amazing, like Land of the Lost looking things.
Yeah. It's pretty cheesy. It's classic
awesome.
Though.
Cool.
So
woodworking.
Yeah.
So Jarrett, what? I'm curious. Where do you source your wood?
Well, most of it came from a place. I can't remember the name of the sawmill, but it's down by Grove, Oklahoma.
Okay.
There's a locally owned sawmill down there.
That's awesome.
I found them on the internet and went down there, and I bought a whole bunch at one time. And then there's a kid that just lives a couple miles north of me, and he has his own little sawmill there, and I buy some stuff from him.
I think that's freaking awesome that you go as local as possible.
Yep.
I think that's great.
And I haven't been there yet, but there's another place that's local that's like a huge operation that I just found out about a couple months ago that I need to go check them out.
That's right. That's rad. I'm all about supporting local businesses first. So
yeah, and so you can order it online and stuff, but shipping is pretty high, and
right,
you never know what you're really going to get because you don't see it.
Yeah,
I like to go and pick it out and stuff.
That's definitely a big thing is go and select your own wood.
Yep.
You have a favorite type of wood that you've worked with so far?
I've been really, really hard on walnut right now. Black walnut.
Yep. It's pretty. It's dark.
Yeah.
Purple heart is pretty. I like it too. It's really tough to work with because it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hardwood.
I would love to have a guitar made of walnut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead, most people go with like a mahogany body with a maple top, maybe. I'd like to do walnut with a maple top. I think that'd be better.
You can find some really cool walnut pieces that have like really bright white, like striations through the grain. Like that's really cool.
Sapwood.
Yeah. My dad had some reclaimed. I don't know if he still has it or not, but he made some shelves out of it. But it was really cool. I wouldn't call it a fun fact, but a fact is if you're working with walnut and you have pets, don't leave the shavings or dust or stuff. Don't put it on flower beds, different stuff like that. It has a toxin in it that's fatal.
Oh,
to
really?
Pets. Yeah.
Oh, did not know. That's good information.
Yeah.
All right.
And there's a lot of, I don't know all of them, but they're different types of woods. The shavings and stuff is not good. You would think mulch would be good for your dirt, but there's some that is too acidic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It'll do more damage than good.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. Okay. It's like a pH thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I haven't really.
PhD.
I haven't worked with a whole lot of exotic wood per se. I mean, purple heart and some zebra wood and canary wood and stuff, but nothing real major.
Not like koa or something crazy.
Bubinga.
I do have Bubinga.
Yeah.
Oh.
I made cutting boards out of it.
Nice.
Yeah, those are really cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I checked those out.
Thank you.
My dad, I don't know who he was talking about. He shared some pictures with me of a guy that had made a cutting board. But what he had done is he had laminated it kind of like you did, piece.
Mm-hmm.
But then he went back and he cross-cut all of that, and then would take your stripe was over on the right side. Well, he'd cut it into strips, and then every other strip flip it the other way, so it kind of bounced back and forth, had this kind of grid pattern,
kind of checkerboard pattern.
Yeah. That's just little things like that are really cool.
Yep.
And it's sometimes you watch the videos of them making different things and doing patterns like that, and it's really simple, but you're like, holy shit, that's all,
Most cutting boards are really simple. They're just really time consuming.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Sanding's the worst.
Oh yeah, especially because you got to have them pretty smooth and stuff. Yeah. I mean, you can spend 4 or 5 hours sanding.
So,
yeah, you know what scares me probably more than anything about woodworking is routing, and it's probably just because I'm ignorant.
Oh, it's pretty nerve-wracking.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just me being a pussy.
No,
no.
It can be nerve-wracking.
Excuse my language.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time you're routing and you're pretty much done with the project. So
yeah, so you could really screw it up.
You could really jack it up.
Yeah.
Like people really wanted juice grooves, is what they're called on cutting boards.
Yeah.
Just a groove around the outside to catch water, blood, or whatever. And it's pretty nerve-wracking doing that. I mean, I made a jig, so it's pretty foolproof.
As long as you have a guide.
It's pretty foolproof, but if you're not holding a router pretty good, it can kind of get out of your hand every now and then. But
yeah, that makes me really nervous. Like I'd be really I'd have a lot of trepidation trying that.
Well, if you go the wrong direction,
oh yeah, you'll find out.
That sucker will take off.
You'll know really quick.
You want to make sure that you get your bit in good and tight, because I've gone around a project that got deeper, or I guess it technically got shallower as I went around.
Oh, I see.
Because
it started
kind of went up into it. It's like shit, and just.
Yep.
So then you got to go around again, and it takes off more material, and
And you don't want the bit flying out. I mean, most time, I don't know, it's probably spinning 9,000 RPMs
at least.
Razor blade right there.
Yeah.
And it's man, it's just a
not great thing to
just a blade on a high powered motor, and anything that
fucking humans are awesome. Like, let's put this fucking blade in a machine. It's gonna whip it around 9,000 times a second.
You call it awesome, I call it lazy. We don't want to do it by hand, so we risk our lives. Plunge routing is the scariest shit in the world. And that's probably one of that's why it was 25 years before I ever dug that guitar body back out, is because that was not something I wanted to do. Because that's just, you fuck everything up. As soon as that bit goes into the body, if you're not,
you gotta have a pretty good hold of it. Because it's gonna go.
And I'm one of those lazy people, so I generally try to go deeper than I should. You should make multiple passes over and over again and just work your way down.
I'm accused of that all the time, going deeper than I should.
Yeah.
I'm just by No, we'll just
on this podcast.
We'll just good. That's a good save. Yes, well, that's what I meant.
Another thing, being on Instagram and seeing all the woodworkers, is a lot of people I follow do like traditional woodworking. They use power tools to the least amount they can, and they do a lot of hand planing and stuff. I really wanted to get into that, so I bought some stuff. Which traditional woodworking tools are just as expensive as electric power tools.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're very, very proud of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's a good way to put it. They're very proud of it.
Yeah. And I just haven't had the patience to learn it fully.
You'd make a really shitty Amish person.
Yeah, I would.
So how many times a year do you get the Rockler catalog?
Like every month.
Right.
That and
is that like if you're into woodworking, that's the catalog you get?
It's like the Cabela's of woodworking.
Okay. You get generally you get like Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
So that's like your Walmart ad for woodworking. And then you got Rockler, which is the high end.
I see.
They all sell the same shit, but there's a quality thing there.
Yes.
I get Rockler and Lee Valley. I mean, they're really high priced stuff too. But I really want to do traditional woodworking, but I don't have the patience.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So on that note, then, what is your favorite tool in your shop right now?
Right now, probably, I don't know, my joiner, I guess.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's probably my newest tool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot and I don't know what a joiner does. So what does that do?
So if you buy like rough cut wood, which is what I do, it takes, so you got your face is the face is the two flat ends.
Yeah. Here, this would be the face.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then these would be the edges. These are your ends.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would plane your face first and get it nice and smooth and perfectly level.
Yes.
It has an in feed table and an out feed table. The in feed table is just a little bit like a 1/16 of an inch lower than the out feed table. So you push it across the cutter head, and then when it goes across the cutter, goes onto the out feed table, it takes out all the imperfections and makes it flat, perfectly flat. And then once you get one face perfectly flat, you flip it up on its edge, and there's a fence, which is just a guide.
Yeah.
But the flat end that you just jointed against that and run the edge over it. And it makes the face and the edge perfectly square with each other.
Yeah.
And
so then at that point, you could use, generally you'd use a planer for the other face.
Yeah.
But you could use table saw or, a rip saw.
Yeah.
Like mills have.
For the other end.
To get the other edge.
The other edge.
To square that up.
Okay, I gotcha.
So it's the first step of everything, and it's like the most important step.
Makes tons of sense.
Yeah, if you're not set up right on that, it can screw everything up down the road.
Sure. No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is how ignorant I am to the whole process. I never even thought about how that was done.
Yep. Yep. Normally, you just cut your wood however long you need it and run it across the joiner. Mm-hmm. And then if you have a planer, you can put the planer on it or hand plane it, whichever one you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
See, coming out of high school, I worked for a cabinet place over in Cherryville. It's not there anymore. Down by the water tower, it used to be called M&M Molders.
Yeah.
And instead of joiners, what they did is they just had this great big. It was a belt fed table, and it was like dual band saws, right? So, but they were perfectly split between them. So you just put the raw lumber through there, and so it would cut off this side, it would cut off this side, but because they were perfectly spaced, then it would come out square on the other side, and you just feed that shit all day long.
Right.
And then they still had planing to do. Giant belt sander. God, I'd love to have a giant belt sander.
Yeah, I would too.
But that's way faster than a joiner. But a joiner is, about yay big.
Yeah.
It's still like, 200, 250 pounds. The damn things are heavy.
Oh, mine's about 700 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can do 8 inches wide at once.
Oh, really?
And it's probably 6 or 7 foot long.
Wow.
But
that's better than one I had in my wood shop.
That's heavy duty shit.
Yeah, you don't really, you don't need one per se, but it is a lot better than hand planing the one side.
Yeah.
It would take forever. And you would have massive arms.
Yeah. Shoulders.
Yeah.
It's all shoulders.
Yep.
Tickets to the gun show.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Grizzly Tools, they still in business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The owner of Grizzly Tools, he builds guitars. Cool. And just about every catalog that used to come out, he'd have these in the front of it, have these elaborate, and they were usually acoustic guitars, right?
Yep. Yeah. I think they're still in there.
Elaborate inlays, and that was kind of his bag. But Grizzly Tools, they're in Missouri or Arkansas?
I think Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, yeah.
I think so.
They have the smaller consumer stuff, but they also have the great big industrial type machines, stuff like that. And given what they are, as big as they are, they're really not that bad as far as price goes.
No, they're very entry level price.
Yeah. But massive, they got some massive, freaking huge planers and
that's
cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Jet Woodworking. That's the brand I have. Planer. It's like right above Grizzly, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Like Grizzly's probably entry level. Jet is just right above entry, and then like Powermatic is probably your top end of the top of the line.
Jet's kind of around Delta.
Yeah.
Or in between.
Yep.
But
and I think the same people make all three of them.
Probably.
Oh yeah, it's like Epiphone and Gibson.
I'm 99% sure that Jet and Powermatic are made by the same company.
Yeah.
But you can buy a Jet planer for about $1,500 less than a Powermatic planer.
Yeah.
And see, $1,500 less. You see how woodworking is just as bad as
guitar.
Being a musician.
Yeah.
Or getting into video work and cameras and oh my god.
I'm gonna save money and make my own guitar. Oh wait.
No, you're not.
No,
you're not.
Yeah, by the time you buy all
you're
the
gonna
tools,
spend more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a bandsaw is a jet bandsaw about $1,800. So.
Yeah. And I have a little tabletop one, which does the job, but
you can make it work.
The worst part about it is the throat on that thing is not deep enough.
The one I had, it wasn't deep enough and it wasn't heavy enough. You just push it over if you was trying to push something through it,
You got to bolt it down.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, mine see a little bit of love maybe once a year, when I got to cut something random,
Yeah.
because I'm scheming on something.
Like the extent of my woodworking is breaking out my compound miter saw to do like, trim or like snap and lock flooring or something.
Yeah.
I'm like not to the level,
to
where I need some big time stuff.
I so desperately need to clean out my garage. It's probably been 7 years since it was last cleaned up. It's horrible.
I did that this last summer. It sucked.
Yeah.
But man, it feels so good.
Well,
it's like someone just lifted the weight of the world off my shoulders. So my garage is clean. Hallelujah.
What I want to do is my dad built a shop across the street from his house. And so most of the time I go over there anyway. I have a little Craftsman table saw, but he's got the big one, So I just go over there, and he's got a radial arm saw. He's got the big rigid, sliding miter saw and all that stuff.
Nice.
I go over and use that stuff 99% of the time. So like he doesn't have a bandsaw and he doesn't have a drill press, and I'm like, I need to clean out this garage. I need to take it over there. I need to just set, I got keys to the shop.
Yeah.
Let me just take it over there. And I just, I need time to do it. But I fill our time with other things all the time.
And that's how my garage is right now. We just built a house last year. We moved into it in June.
Mm-hmm.
And
congratulations again.
That's
awesome.
Thank you. And I had all my stuff, like I had my old shop set up really nice, I had cabinets and stuff built in there, and it was all nice and neat. And my mom bought that house from us, so I just left all my woodworking stuff in the garage for a while till our house was done. And then when I moved it all, I didn't really have time to build any storage or anything in the shop.
Right.
And when I moved it all, there was like a torrential downpour, like tornado on the way. So I had all my stuff on a trailer, open trailer. So I was trying to get it in the garage as quick as possible. So we just kind of threw it all in there.
Yeah.
And it still sits like that today.
Yeah.
It's just, there's so much stuff in there that I don't even know where to start.
Right.
I just need to take it all out, take a couple of days, build some cabinets and shelves and benches, and then move it all back in.
Right.
I think so. I took an old door, solid core door, and I made that a big workbench, right? And put it on casters. So it's about 8 feet long, and 3 feet wide. So of course it's stuck in there now with all the shit surrounding it. but that would be the not necessarily an 8 foot work table. I mean, it's great to have one, and if you got room for one, that'd be great. But put everything on wheels.
Oh yeah,
put everything on wheels, and man, you can get some.
Probably locking casters.
Yes,
right?
yes. So like the red casters that I've got on a couple of the different road cases in here, because they had bad casters that had kind of crumbled. I think those sets of 4 were like $25.
Yeah.
But I think they're like 3 or 4 inch casters, and they're all locking.
Yeah, that's
so. I mean, back when I built that table, the only place I could go was like Orscheln's or Rockler, and so you're paying like $25 a caster.
Per caster.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one of the great benefits of Amazon. But yeah, man, I would build bases and put wheels on everything.
Yep.
And then if you need to, you can just kind of push it all into one corner, but then you bring it out.
Yeah. All my machinery is on casters.
Yeah.
On mobile bases.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it a lot easier to move it around.
Hell yeah.
So do you have any projects in the pipe?
Woodworking?
Yeah.
I got a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in our house, I'd say it's like the man cave, but it's kind of the office. And at my old house, I had a bunch of built-in bookshelves in the office there. So I had pretty much all my stuff goes on bookshelves that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have that in the new place. So I've been working on floating shelves in there for 4 months. I just need to finish it.
Right.
But
it's kind of hard when you got a 3-month baby.
Yeah.
3-month baby, full-time job.
Yeah. Kick-ass band.
Right.
Yeah.
But floating shelves, and the wife really wants a dining table built.
Yeah.
I've been putting that off for 6-7 months.
Yeah. What kind of wood she want?
I think she wants sycamore.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
Be cool.
Sycamore or hickory. She's seen some dining tables made out of that. Looks pretty nice. It's got some really nice grain in it.
I can't even think about what sycamore looks like cut. I can picture a sycamore tree, but that doesn't really tell you what the wood looks like. I'll have to look up some pictures.
It's pretty variant.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of different varieties of it.
Yeah.
It's not very dark, right?
No, it's pretty light.
It's pretty light.
She wants to stain it darker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty light colored wood.
If you don't want to move something, make it out of oak.
Yeah.
Because you'll never want to move it.
No.
The first thing I built was a huge entertainment center for my mom and dad. They still have it. It's been moved 3 times since I was in high school. If that tells you anything.
Yeah. That's what I need to do for my parents, because God damn it, every couple months my mom's like, we need to move this stuff around. Zach, come over here, help me move my furniture around.
Well,
if all the time, it's nonstop.
If you're the one moving, then you're just going to make it harder on yourself, because they're still going to want it moved.
That's true. That's true.
You need to start making stuff for them out of balsa.
I obviously did not think this out far enough. Yeah, you're right. It's not good. My parents are in their 70s. They're not doing it themselves.
So, given the interesting year that 2020 was, having a new baby, new house.
Oh, wait, I got a question on the new house.
Okay.
I saw you shared pictures of stamped cement patio. Did you do that yourself?
No, I didn't do any of that.
Oh, okay.
Nothing in the house I did.
Oh, okay.
It was all hired out.
No, that looks freaking sweet, though.
Thank you.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
I've got a friend that actually has done, I don't think he does that now, but he's done that in the past on the side. And that's another thing I think is really cool and kind of underappreciated.
It's an art form.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Cement work in general is, we actually got bids, not this summer, the previous summer, on a potential driveway, because right now we just have a gravel drive, and we have way too many vehicles, and that gravel drive doesn't even go into the garage. We have a carport and it goes there, and so you're driving over the road, and we got these great big dips where anyway.
Yeah.
That's some expensive shit.
Yeah,
it is. It's high dollar right now.
I don't know if he's still doing it, but do you know Chris Jordan? Okay. Well, he's a friend, and he has done it and done a really good job with that stuff in the past. Yeah. So if he's still into doing that, I'll get you in touch with him if you want to do that.
Cool. I need to buy a camera. Don't.
Okay.
Don't divert the money anywhere else.
All right. Yep.
I'll just
buy the camera first.
I'll throw some gravel in the hole. It's okay.
All right. I'll help you shovel.
You're right.
Just get the camera.
You're right. So, what I was going to get at was, have you guys had any issue with COVID? Anybody in your family, you run into that?
No.
We're starting to. We've noticed, with the four of us in the band, we're kind of spread out between, Independence, Cherryville, Coffeyville, Pittsburgh. That
and we're all quote unquote essential.
Yeah. But the circle of not being infected, I guess, is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. We're starting to, I know somebody now, or I mean,
I know quite a few people that's had it, but nobody really in.
So far, so good.
Yeah, in my circle has gotten it.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Have you run into anybody that has had it bad?
No, not really.
We've I've talked to some people that have had it. I haven't run into anybody that's passed. I've run into people that know people that have passed. I've run into people that have had a hard time with it. Some that are still dealing with the after effects. But then I have a 100-year-old grandma. She turned 100 last May.
Oh wow!
She got it.
Really?
In the nursing home. She was asymptomatic the whole time. Yeah, she never showed it.
A lady's made us some tough stuff, dude.
After she turned 100, she broke her hip. She got surgery at 100.
Yes, yeah.
And the orthopedic surgeon came out and said, "You got great bones."
Man, that's awesome.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, whatever she's doing, sign me up. Let's do
kidding.
that.
Yeah, she got it figured out. But
my son got it, and he had a fever, felt bad for like 2.5 days, shook it off, no lasting effects.
That's good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. My wife's sister's husband, so my wife's brother-in-law, he got it. I guess she got it too, but she had like cold symptoms.
Yeah.
He got it, and he just had a persistent headache for the duration. Renee, that was in here last Saturday, he had it, and he's still, he and Lori both had it, but he's still having persistent taste issues.
Oh,
for the most part, it's back, but at times, certain things don't taste right. I think he said that the beef still doesn't taste right.
Oh, that would kill me.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
Like a steak doesn't taste good. Like,
yeah. Man, I haven't had a steak in a while. Brooks going vegan.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
yeah. I'm really surprised I haven't got it, because there's a lot of people at work that got it in the last couple months that I work close with every day.
I kind of think that there's some natural immunity that we don't know about yet.
Yeah.
That
I wonder how much of it is due to diet.
Yeah.
To what kind of nutrients and just all around kind of just healthy living. Like you're seem like a pretty fit guy. You're definitely not overweight or anything. Like I think you're probably.
I should have had it 5 times over then, because my diet's shit.
I have energy drinks for blood, so.
Well, maybe that's a secret. All right. Monster a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
I tend to consume quite a bit of caffeine myself.
My son is that way. He loves energy drinks, and like I said, he got it, shook it off pretty quick. So,
yeah.
This is not medical advice to anyone listening. Do not recommend drinking sugary beverages and thinking it will make you immune to COVID.
No.
But I don't know. It's interesting. Just how different people experience vastly different symptoms.
Yeah.
And how it just seems to be different with every person. It's pretty crazy.
Everybody's different. Like most of the people that I work with, they really didn't have it super bad. They just kind of lost taste for like probably a month. I think the one that just got back from COVID, he's finally getting his taste back, and it's been maybe a month and a half now.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite that long, but taste and smell seems like the big thing.
A guy I work with had it about a month and a half ago, probably about a month ago. And I don't think he never said anything about taste, but he said that his hands broke out in hives.
Really?
And every once in a while it'll recur. He'll wake up one day and his hands will be broken out and like weird. It's like that seems like such a random weird thing.
Yeah, that's pretty strange.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing has been random and weird.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. It's so strange, man.
Yeah. It's almost like it was planned.
Oh,
no.
Dun, dun, dun.
I do not subscribe to conspiracy theories, but I do enjoy dipping my toe into them.
I do believe that it is very probable that it was leaked from the lab in Wuhan, but I do not think that there's any evidence to suggest that it was done on purpose.
Yeah.
Or like it's some kind of like biological weapon.
Like any malicious intent to it.
Right.
I think if it was going to be a biological weapon, then it would go bigger.
Yeah, it would have been better than that.
Yeah. But I've said from the beginning, if we were bleeding from our eyes, everybody would have taken this way more seriously.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't matter what the mortality rate or as bad as this can be, because it is. Don't ever mistake for us having light symptoms or knowing people that have light symptoms. Mistake it for not being horrible. Because
we're not saying that it's not a serious issue.
Because Brooke is on the front line, and she's seen the horrible side of it. So, I'm not trying to make light of it, but we didn't take it seriously because it didn't look that bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if it was, you start bleeding from your eyes, people are going to freak out. Just think about how people freaked out when we had the Ebola scare,
right?
But that was shut down quick.
Yep.
And I think that was because people were freaked out.
Well, I think it was people were freaked out. It was way more deadly, but way less contagious.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I think COVID has pointed out our shortcomings as people.
I agree.
So hopefully that means we'll be better prepared for something that is truly horrific.
I'm hopeful, but I don't expect.
Doubtful.
I'm hopeful, but doubtful. I got reserve judgment on that front that we will actually heed the warnings and take precautions. I think one of the big takeaways is that people need to be healthy, because when people get it bad, they have kind of comorbidity factors, like they're obese, or they're smokers, or they're they are deficient in vitamin D, or all these things. Look at how much exercise you're getting. Look at your diet. Look at these things.
It kind of attacks the pre-existing conditions. The problem is that a lot of people don't know they even have pre-existing conditions, and so that's why it comes out of the blue sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
There was something I saw today about a teenage girl that had beat stage 3 cancer twice. She got COVID and died. She was 17.
Wow.
17.
Oh my!
But you got to consider that the ravaging her body probably took from beating cancer was probably what
just made her susceptible. Yeah. God, that's heartbreaking shit right there.
Yeah. And don't ever think that we on this podcast don't take this shit seriously.
Right.
It is a real
we
problem.
We joke and we talk shit and stuff, but god damn it, dude. It's like,
that's just for levity.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to laugh not to cry, but it's for real.
So I have heard a rumor. I shouldn't say it's a rumor. I have been inquired for my expert advice in video that Ghost in the Atlantic may be doing a live stream.
Wow.
Is this news to you?
It's kind of news to me, yes.
You're just going to show up one day, hey, we're going live.
That's pretty much how it works.
Yeah.
I'm just the bass player. I just show up and play.
Oh, way more. So, when did you hook up with those guys?
Well, I've kind of known Jared for quite a while. He was in a band, Stone Crow, a long time ago, kind of when Airmont was going hot and heavy. And we played maybe 3 or 4 shows with him. And that's how I know him anyways, him and Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Which I don't really know what he's doing nowadays, and me and Jared just kind of, we wasn't like friends, but we always kind of talk to each other every now and then on social media and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day he just kind of hit me up out of the blue. Well, not really out of the blue. He'd been trying to get me to play with him for quite a while.
He was trying to get you to play guitar, wasn't
he? Yeah.
To start out with.
Yeah. And I just really wasn't ready for that, I guess you could say. And then one day I was like, all right, I'll play bass.
Yeah.
And
the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, as Jared tells it, you said that you would play bass, and then you ran out and bought a whole new bass rig, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a single bass item.
To which I told him, I said, and all you need is an excuse. That's all a musician needs.
Right. That's exactly
I didn't have one item for bass.
You know what? The first time I played bass for a band, I had a makeshift 4x12 amp, which was basically a 30-watt crate that was a 12-inch combo that I just slapped in a big case and put 4 12s in it. And then I had a cheap ass Rogue 5-string bass. You know, I bought that bass for recording, but I went to that practice, and then so I come away from that practice and like, yeah, I'm going to do this, so I need to get some shit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I used Wyatt played bass too for Jared's old band, Aura, I think. Yeah, Aura.
Right.
So Wyatt played bass, so he had quite a good selection of bass stuff. So I used his cab for a while and his amp for a little bit, and then I just bought my own stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
So the next question is, break down your rig for us.
I haven't even looked at it in like 3 months, but
well, then it hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't. So I have a dark glass Alpha Omega 900 heads.
See, that's what I wanted to even talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the head.
Yeah.
I got that, and that thing, I love that thing.
Right.
That's probably, I mean, I don't know, I can't compare it to a lot of bass heads because I only know it and like the Ampeg SVT.
Right.
That's the only thing I've ever played through.
Are they pretty radically different?
Very.
Yeah.
Very different. The dark glass it's amazing. It's like the best amp I think you could ever buy for bass.
Wow.
Right now at this time. It can do anything you want. I mean, it can be super clean jazz to heavy metal, what we play. Like really raw. And so I got that. And then before I got the head, I bought a dark glass, I think it's the B3K overdrive pedal. I had it and I was running it through Wyatt's Ampeg, and it sounds pretty. I mean, it can get a pretty good heavy tone too. So I run it in front of the amp too to kind of give it a little extra distortion.
Kind of tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't really need it because I think they both have the same circuit in the amp.
So, it never hurts to stack them.
But you can double it up. And then I got a 4x10 dark glass cab.
Nice. And you got, I don't know if it's the main bass that you play, but I know you got is it a 5-string Schecter?
Yeah, Schecter Riot.
Riot. Yeah.
Yep.
So I was, last time, I think the last time we saw you play, was it at Trauma Fest?
Trauma Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, June Jams.
It was June Jams.
It was June Jams.
It was June Jams.
This summer.
But I remember specifically talking to you after Trauma Fest.
Or no, you're right. It was Trauma Fest because June Jams was before Trauma Fest.
Yeah, because Trauma Fest was in August. Yeah.
Yes. I was trying to think June. I don't remember that one, but
yeah. But yeah, you guys killed it that time too. But I remember thinking like, oh, God, like you guys are tuned low. You got the 5-string and everything. But it seems like you had a lot of tension on the strings, and it was like just super tight and punchy, and like I really loved that. And I was like, man, what gauge strings are you using? Like, what's the scale length on your guitar? Because like if I buy a bass, like I want that. So I like your setup. It just sounds really clear and punchy through the mix.
Thank you. I lied to you, but I think the low string is like 0.145.
Okay.
Or 0.140 maybe. It's one of the two. I can't remember. It was
all right. It's right in there.
It's a pretty big.
It's pretty
gauge.
chunky.
Yeah. And then Jared's buddy in Bartlesville set it up. So
right on.
He what's it called? Intonized it or whatever.
Yeah.
Intonated. Yeah. And did all that.
Yeah.
It's funny. Quentin just bought a multi-scale Ibanez 5-string, and
it's a good thing you did, because I was going to yoink it out from under him if he didn't buy it. I was going to get
it. We've got a handful of new songs that are what guitar wise we're playing is in a double E, so it's like the low E is
equivalent to standard
bass,
yeah,
and then an octave higher, and then it's just basically E standard from there. But we haven't tried it yet because he hasn't bought the strings. But he wants to try an E at an octave lower, so an octave lower than
a
standard bass. So it'd be E0. He's the gauge that was suggested for that tuning is a 200.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna see.
I think that's ridiculous. I can't. But
you have to get it.
I say go for it.
We're gonna freak dogs out. Yeah.
Do some nut work and all that to get that in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's I think it's 35.5-inch scale on the low end, so it ought to have enough scale to pull that off. But he's just got to.
It might not be tight like a Toyga.
I don't know. 200. I don't know that it ever gets loose.
We can imagine the calluses that thing would give you.
Oh no!
I need to write something in that tuning that just has that first fret bend like I do on a Quiet Anger.
All right, that's kills that. I was going to ask you if a Quiet Anger was in that tuning.
No, that's in A. That's in drop A.
That's the great thing about this band is I play drums. I don't have to tune.
Yep, one tuning.
Yep.
Yeah. The only thing new that is in my rig now is I got a compressor pedal, dark glass hyperluminal. I don't have.
So you need to do like some hardcore dark glass promo pictures and send them to.
Yeah, you need to be sponsored by those guys.
Yeah, I mean, even if it just is them pimping you in the band, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just a couple of shares or something. Yeah. We just did that with Quentin because he's got 4 Ibanez basses now, so it's like we took a picture with all the basses. So I got to go through them and edit them.
We thought about doing that with Schecter because every one of us has a Schecter.
Oh, yes, yeah, you should.
And it's kind of weird because I've never been one to like stick to one company and just buy everything from them. I always kind of like mix and matched.
Yeah. But so far, the dark glass stuff hadn't steered you wrong. It's
supreme. Yeah. And
badass.
I also have a new bass, but I have not got it yet.
Yeah.
I ordered it like
What's this one?
6 months ago.
Oh, really? Oh.
It's I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're called Acacia guitars.
Yeah.
I have heard of them. Yeah.
It's custom, but it's not really custom. They're just building it.
Yeah.
And
But they have like a list of options, and you pick out your options type thing, or
yeah, like I got to pick out like the color and stuff, and what I wanted the fretboard to be and stuff like that. And it's multi-scale too, so I'm pretty excited for that.
It's really cool. Yeah, I'd never touched anything multi-scale, guitar or bass, and so when he got his, it's surprising how natural it feels.
Yeah, I mean,
it really does. But I'd love to get a multi-scale guitar because I like to tune so low, but at the same time, I think I would rather have an Evertune bridge, and so far they don't do that multi-scale. But man, I hate fighting with tuning. Of course, I'm a sucker for cheap instruments, so that's why I fight with tuning all the time.
Yeah, I ordered that like last August or July.
Oh.
But
I know it takes time to build them. I know it. There are other builds. There's stuff like that. But that was just like, this is killing me.
Yeah. They blamed it on COVID. They've been waiting on the pickups for like a month.
Yeah.
I guess they finally came in, or they finally shipped them to them last week or something like that.
I'm really leaning towards. I would really like to find a Kansas, Missouri, or Oklahoma, a fairly local builder to do something custom. But if that wasn't to be the case, I'm really leaning towards those Balaguer guitars. Have you seen those?
Mm-mm.
Man, they have a whole. They have basses too, but they have a whole website builder. Where you and again, it's not fully custom because they have their options that you have.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of options that you can pick from. I think that'd be really cool. Again, I'd much rather find somebody in the 4-state area that actually builds. I think custom from the ground up would be really cool.
I would like to get some Solar guitars with Evertune bridges. I think that'd be badass.
That's what we were talking about.
Is that what you were talking about?
Not Solar, but I'd love to get a multi-scale guitar, but I would rather have an Evertune.
Right,
and you can't have both. You can't have both yet.
Hopefully,
yeah.
They're supposedly working on an Evertune that has a tremolo function, or that would be.
It'd be pretty wild.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty wild.
Yeah.
You could have the best of both worlds that way.
Yeah.
And they've been talking about Evertune for acoustics and Evertune for bass.
Yeah.
Supposedly that's all in development.
It'd be pretty interesting.
I don't know. I'm glad that we've gotten to see one firsthand now because Jack Barney had that ESP with the Evertune in it.
Yeah.
And he loved it.
Yeah. And he bends the shit out of strings, and
yes, he does. Did you see ESP has a brand new line with Evertunes in them? Yeah, they're telly shaped, but
okay. Yeah, actually, I did see that.
They're pretty slick.
I give two shits about telly shaped guitars. So
I want a telly just because I don't have a telly, but I don't want like telly pickups at all.
No, right.
But it's got that. It's got the
it's telly, how sweet, and then it's like raw, rips your head off.
Ultimately, what I'd like is a Stephen Carpenter telly, one of the ESPs. 7-string. It's got that different telly shape headstock that only ESP has.
Yeah,
that I can't find a template for anywhere because I'd like to cut that out of that neck I've got, but I have to settle for a reverse strat, which I like, but but yeah, cool. I don't know. I've never actually played an ESP. Oh, you had one, didn't you?
Yeah, I still have one.
You still have one? You had the LP style, Les Paul style, right?
The Eclipse.
An Eclipse, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the models that comes with Evertune now that you can get an Evertune on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had in Aramont, and I still have it.
I didn't realize that you were in Aramont.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to catch up, loser.
I know. I suck. But
well, I saw him live,
I know
one time.
I missed out, but I did hear the little bit that you guys recorded and dug the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I have an Ibanez 7-string too, but I haven't really done much with it.
The only 7-string I ever owned was an Ibanez, and while I loved I absolutely loved the clean tone, I hated the distortion tone.
Really,
it was terrible. And I never really liked how the Ibanez played. I've never really liked Ibanez guitars.
Yeah,
I love their basses.
Yeah,
I feel the same way.
There's something about the guitars. I don't know.
They have a very distinctive sound
and feel.
Definitely feel. It was the feel more than the sound, but it's like you can hear a band and you say, that's an Ibanez guitar, right.
I mean, I can chalk up the sound to cheap pickups, or something like that, but you can't change the feel.
No, yeah.
And so maybe because they're legendary for super thin necks, maybe I just don't. I like chonky necks. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be.
I think a Strat neck feels wonderful. I think it's the radius.
Yeah.
Maybe I just don't like a super flat neck like a lot of Ibanez guitars have. The radius is very flat. It's not much curve to the fretboard.
That would explain why it works so well for bass. Well, but for bass,
yeah,
because they got the same profiles on basses.
Yeah, I love it. I love the bass,
but like they're so narrow on a bass. Obviously not his 6-string because it's like that.
Right? Yeah.
But
that was a big. I mean, when I started playing music, I started out on bass. Me and Jarrett Chastain. He played guitar, and we just played around in his house and stuff, learning like System of a Down and stuff like that. So I played just bass for a while doing that. And then I switched over to guitar, and I didn't play bass again for until Ghost in the Atlantic, so 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's pretty tough going from a little tiny neck on the guitar to playing on a bass.
Yeah.
Especially some of the stuff that Jared writes. It's pretty tough.
We when I started when I hooked back up with Zach, I was playing bass in Command, and then we started Edge back up, and so it was like bass and Command guitar, and it
that'll fuck you up. Going back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, I mean at that point it was like if I don't have my side markers where I can see them, I ain't gonna know where I'm at. Because
right.
I mean, some of the stuff that Jared writes is. He's he writes tabs out, but I learned better in person watching him play and then kind of following along. Right, yeah. I mean, I use tabs, don't get me wrong, but he'll write stuff and then it's not a very big stretch for him, And I'll be like, what are you doing right there, bro? I just go slow. And he's like, it's just the one stretch from 1 to 4 fret. I'm like, okay, well that's huge on the bass. I can hardly do that.
Go up a string.
It's okay, Mr. 25.5-inch scale, and I'm at 34 or 35 or whatever. It's okay, it's a little different.
It's go from the 1st fret big string to the 4th fret 3rd string, and it's real easy. It's not super easy.
Yeah, that minor 9th interval is super easy on the space. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I could do it, but I'm going to hit all the other strings at the same time, probably trying to get down there.
So, as far as jumping back to JL Woodworks on Instagram, are you currently taking commissions? If somebody reaches out to you, or are you kind of on the fence, or whether it depend on the project, maybe?
Yeah, it depends on what it was.
Yeah.
If it's a pretty big project right now, probably put it on hold for a little bit.
Yeah.
But if it's something small, it only take a month to do, I'd probably take it on.
Okay.
Right on.
All right. So if you're needing something small.
Yeah. Something small.
Or something big that's easy.
Yeah. If you just need a big, huge cabinet or something with no doors.
No doors, yeah. Well, doors go up a lot faster than drawers. Drawers suck.
Yeah. They're they're no fun.
Have you done any dovetails yet?
No, that's part of my traditional woodworking kick that I wanted to try.
Buy a jig.
Yeah, that's
Buy a jig for the router.
I don't have a dovetail jig, but I got a finger joint
joint jig
yeah.
for the table saw.
Yeah.
Those are cool, especially if you use contrasting woods.
Yeah,
like walnut and maple or something like that. So then you have they like fingers,
right?
Finger joint.
Yeah.
And so then you have the dark and the light. It's cool looking.
Yeah. But I would love to learn how to do hand cut dovetails sometime.
Hand cut would be amazing.
Yeah.
I do not want to learn that.
I mean, I say I want to, but I'll probably try and just get pissed off as soon as I tried.
I complain if I have to do a rabbit joint. I'm all about butt joints.
I'll tell you what, I've had some dressers and stuff that had dovetail jointed drawers and stuff, like some old style kind of construction, and
it's amazing.
Man, yeah, they really hold together. It's solid shit.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And to think about the fact that before before 1960 probably, or even later, that was all by hand.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's crazy how people thought of all that stuff, dovetails and finger joints and all that.
Yeah. Well, and to do it consistently, repeatable, by hand without power.
Right. Yeah.
It's wild.
The time and precision it takes to do all that stuff is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Humans are fascinating creatures.
They are.
And yeah.
Despite all our shortcomings.
Yeah. Hey man, it's a mixed bag. You
got that right.
Take the good with the bad and try to mitigate the bad while you accentuate the good.
Right.
That's all we can do.
So,
step by step.
Have you thought about doing doing YouTube?
I did when I first started out. That's what I tried to. I didn't try to do YouTube. I did a lot of stuff on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think stories on there and stuff.
Yeah. I think if you just got like a little camera, set it on a time lapse interval, and just do what you do, and then at the end, you get a whole project that you can put out and then in time lapse.
Yeah.
There's a market for that.
Yep.
I know I get sucked into them, and I don't do woodworking nearly as much as I do.
Yeah, shoot. I was just talking with a coworker that made me feel great because he was like, man, I spent my day at work listening to your last podcast. It was the one we did with Nisa. And he was like, yeah, that was really great, man. I just love listening to you guys. And he's like, I don't know anything about Star Wars. You guys talked about Star Wars a lot. but I thought it was really cool. like, yeah, I kind of get that. Like, I get sucked into shows like Forged in Fire. You ever watch that show?
Yeah.
I know shit all about working with metal, but I will watch hour upon hour of people building knives, pounding that shit out.
Oh, man.
I love it.
Yep.
Like, I don't need to know anything about how to do it, but I respect the artistry that goes into doing it.
I watch that, and all I hear is the fucking anvil of chrome, music in the background, from Conan the Barbarian. Dun, 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 dun. It's like, yes. Glass blowing. That's awesome to watch.
Yeah, it is. Very.
And the bad thing is all it takes is one click on YouTube for one video, and guess what? Your feed's going to be filled with them, and then you just get sucked in. And,
yeah. Go through the rabbit hole.
Yeah, man. I have to change up my feed periodically. So it'll go from Star Wars to again the camera I'm after, the Black Magic Cinema. So there's a whole bunch of tutorial or reviews, or then there's the guy building the epoxy guitar, or the right now there's a whole big long feed of Shishugibon wood burning. Have you seen that? Oh, that's so cool. So you take any, it's a Japanese thing. But you just burn the shit out of the wood. You blacken it, and then you sand it off, and then all the deep grain retains that burn, so it's high contrast.
Okay.
Even on low contrast wood, because the deeper grain burns hotter or something. I don't know, but it's really cool. So it's like a black and white thing, but it's all in the wood grains and stuff like that. But
that'd be a cool thing to do on a guitar.
Well, okay, so some of the guitars I've shared with you that have like there was one, it was like Happus guitars, and it was like red, but it had those deep black wood grains.
Yeah.
I don't know that they burned it, but that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
And so if you burn it and then stain it, obviously the stuff that turned black does not stain, but that's how like I said, I don't know if that's how they do it, but
right.
But that's the look you get.
That's the kind of effect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's another, I've been trying to think of the word, but they put electricity through it and burn it.
Yeah, they'll put a nail on either side, and they'll wet the board down, and then put like a freaking car battery, a car charger to it, and then you'll just see it until it reaches, so it can pass to ground, and then they'll move it so they can get the pattern they want. Yeah, that stuff's awesome.
Looks like lightning bolts to it and stuff.
Sure. That'd be cool to do to a guitar body.
Yeah.
Yep. It has a name. I can't think of what it's called right now. I've been trying.
Kind of a electrolysis or something like that. But there's something specific. But I just had one of those come up in my feed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wood is a very cool thing.
Yep.
It really is pretty forgiving. Until you start using a router.
One thing that always sticks in my mind is not the house I currently live in, but the one that I lived in Pittsburgh for 10 years before I moved back to the area. And the house I lived in there, one wall of my garage had fallen away. It was like falling down, and I had to kind of reinforce it and rejoin it. I didn't know shit all what I was doing. So my wife at the time, her stepfather, who was a welder by trade, came in and is like, I'll help you figure this out, and we'll get it done, and we did, and it sucked, but we did it. But he's like, I hate working with wood. If you mess up with something and there's metal, you just add more to it. You just weld some more shit on there. You can't do that with wood. I don't know how you fix your mistakes with this shit. But that always cracked me up. Me and you both, buddy. I don't know. Don't know what I'm doing.
It's funny. There's several deck boards, and now even longer still, there are more that I have to replace. So the deck is 11 years old. And so obviously over time, especially since I don't have any guttering where it runs off, a lot of that just aged, rotted, cracked, different stuff like that. So I've replaced a lot of it. But I bought the deck boards right before it got real cold last year. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they kind of just set outside, which, it's treated lumber. Before you can stain it anyway, it's got to, weatherize a bit. But there were a few that got a little warped. Most of them just did this on the face side. So I set out my sawhorses and then put them on there, and then I hosed them down just got them really, really wet, and then put 4 buckets full, 5-gallon buckets full of water on them with them flipped to level them out. And it actually worked. But nice. I have one that the edge side has done this. And so it's a very, very slow I don't know that I'm going to save that board, but
yeah, it's hard when it bends on the edge side.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could force it in there, but I guarantee it ain't going to stay. Wood does protest.
Yeah, it always moves.
And it's funny too, because one of the bad ones that wasn't bad when I started replacing them. So I had to replace some of the supports underneath too. And so I screwed this one down next to a new one, and somewhere along the way, I don't know, it was a hot day and wet or whatever, but it is the living example of how wood expands and contracts. Because given whatever the weather is, it's either laying back where it's supposed to be, or it's fully popped up right where the screws go in. So the screws aren't attached. I mean, they have since popped out, but it will settle depending on what the weather is. I mean, I have to replace it, but the only board I have left is that one that's warped. And I have a whole bunch more boards that need to be replaced that have just rotted out in the time it took me to replace the other ones. Mm-hmm. But with it being winter, I'm not even going to mess with it until spring.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, you'll go out there one day and the dogs are running across it and it's like, boom, boom, and then the next day it's just laying flat.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's wild. It's never a dull moment at my house.
With how many dogs you got now?
Got 5.
5 dogs.
5 Pyrenees mixes, and they all live inside.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got 2.
2? What you got?
We have an Australian Shepherd and a Brittany Spaniel.
Both awesome dogs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Australian Shepherd, he's still a puppy. He's only like 7-8 months old.
Those are great dogs.
Yeah.
I had one once.
Yeah, we had a mini Australian Shepherd and she passed away last year. So we got a full grown, and he's all right.
Yeah.
He's a little different.
The Brittany's are really good too.
Yeah.
Brooke's mom and dad have one, and then her aunt and uncle have one. Yeah, they're really good dogs.
Yep. We've had him. He's 7. Yeah, 7. Had him for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, losing dogs is hard.
Yep.
But they are fully worth it.
Yep.
We kind of started this tradition since we started getting the peer mixes. We only get girls because we had a rough experience with one of the males when he got older, and he got kind of violent, and the kids were little then, and so we just kind of avoided it. Not to say that the females don't get aggressive; they do. It's just it's different. But kind of have based all their names on female action heroes or superhero or stuff like that, and or just characters from shows we like. But we are actually up to 10 dogs that we've had since we got married.
Really?
Yeah. So there have been 5 before the 5 we got now, but that means, just given the way we name, and that the next female dog, mind you, will be 11.
Oh.
Her name will be 11.
Yeah. Has to be.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only natural.
We got a plan. And then we have we keep a running list anytime that we think of names.
Nice.
Like the last one, and it was funny, the 10th one, her name, she's just over a year old. Her name's River, and we named her after Serenity or Firefly TV series. And that name, she's gorgeous and she's skinny, because we think she's pure greyhound. Super long neck, super skinny, skittish. So I guess actually it doesn't really work with her name, because when River in the show was kind of not in action mode, she was kind of a scared little girl character.
Yeah. And she's very standoffish and skittish.
And River has the deepest bark out of all of them.
Really?
So it's like when she gets threatened, it's roof, roof. So it's like, okay, I was going to say it didn't work, but yeah, actually it does. It's weird how that works,
Yeah.
So hopefully when we get
meant to
11,
be.
she'll be telekinetic.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Tell the dog to get a beer, and she just floats it into them.
Hopefully without the nosebleeds.
Well, it
If
doesn't
it
seem
needs
to
to
affect
be.
her.
We don't have any. We don't have any cool stories like that on how we name our dogs.
Well, it started out with guns. So the first one was Ruger. That was the male we had, and then we had a Remington, and then we had a Beretta, and then after that, I had written a short story about a yellow lab, and her name was Tango. And so when we got a yellow lab, her name was Tango. And then after that, it was Snips, which was after Ahsoka from Star Wars Rebels. So, and then it just kind of went from there. And we got Kinsey, who was she was the not the main character, but like the sidekick in the sci-fi show Lost Girl. I don't know if you guys ever watched that. It was pretty good.
I know what it is, but I've never watched it. Yeah.
So we had Kinsey, and then we have Letty, which is after Michelle Rodriguez from Fast and Furious. Always been a fan of hers. She just has that glare, man.
Yeah.
It's just like she glares and it's like she's gonna kick your ass. And then we've got Leia, which is obvious.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we got Ripley, which is also obvious. And then we got River.
Yeah.
And next is 11.
Yep.
Oh.
We got the Brittany's name is Bailey, and I regret it every day because everybody thinks he's a girl because of the name. And then the Australian Shepherd's name is Tough.
Yeah, right on.
From the Bull Rider, because he's a cow dog.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I think that's the best part. So, all 5 of those dogs, they have their names, but then they have their other names.
The last dog that I had, I only have cats right now, but the last dog I had was a Cairn Terrier, and he died basically of old age. He was an old man, but we named him after the Duke Baron, or the Baron Harkonnen in Dune. So his name was Harkonnen.
Yeah,
Awesome.
He was just didn't fit the name at all.
right.
I don't know. Yeah, he was just like a scrawny little thing that was super energetic, zooming around all the time, barking at everything. Would get outside every chance he got, and then roll in the deadest, smelliest thing ever, and then bring it back inside. And
That's kind of close.
Yeah.
Oh, that's maybe a little close.
That's kind of close.
Yeah, that's a little close.
Yeah, he just needed to be fat and floating around.
Yeah. Yep. He
With
was
an
never
eye for
fat.
little boys.
Yeah.
And we got a cat, and she's named after a professional wrestler from WWE.
Oh yeah.
Nia Jax.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we just got into wrestling, and we've been talking. What do you watch?
I haven't watched anything in forever, but
Oh yeah.
I watched, WWE for a long, long time.
Yeah. You have any standout shows, movies, anything like that
Like,
can't live without?
honestly, no, not really.
No.
I don't watch a lot of movies, really.
Yeah.
I mean, wartime movies is probably my favorite, really.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Fury, I really like that movie.
That was a good one.
Yeah. And Glorious Bastards, those are probably my 2 favorites
Right on.
right now. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of movies, really.
Yeah. I generally watch mostly movies. There are a lot of shows I'd like to watch, but I just don't want to invest that many hours.
Yeah, same here.
That's the thing that really keeps me from diving into shows. There are some shows out there that I just I'm watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
See, I prefer shows.
well, I do too.
I do. Yeah.
But I don't want to invest that much time,
Right.
given all the other shit that I want to do.
Sure. Sure.
yeah.
I'd rather make them than
Yeah.
watch them. Someday we'll start with bowling
All right.
bowling videos.
Pretty guilty pleasure time. I recently, I won't say I binged it because I watched like an episode a night for a couple weeks or whatever until I finished it, and there's only like 6 episodes. It's on Netflix. There's a show called Fate that is based on the Winx cartoon, which is so silly and girly, but I actually kind of liked it.
You know what? I watched the Sabrina remake.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Kind
of like that. Yeah, like I watched the Sabrina stuff too.
Man, it was great.
It was all right.
It really was.
The Winx thing is like it's kind of like that. It's like I mean, different premise, but yeah, like based on some source material that you'd be like, really?
Yeah.
But
hey, a good story is a good story.
yeah. This was kind of like a young adult, almost a Harry Potter-ish type of thing, you know. But it really well done. Like, really, if anyone's into like magic, witchy stuff, like it's pretty cool. Yeah. Just throwing it out there.
This is Zach's hot take for the night.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, God, there's a bunch of shows, and it's funny too because Brooke, I can't remember the name of the show. There was one that was recommended to her, and so the last 2 nights, because she's been off work, she doesn't go back to work until tomorrow. So I get home and she's in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm not watching it now,
Right.
But so she generally gets through the shows. But right now the only show I'm actively watching is WandaVision, which that show I think is setting something up huge.
Yeah,
I think. But we've been trying to take some deeper dives into some of the movies on Netflix instead of watching the same shit over and over again.
Right.
They just I guess that wasn't Netflix. HBO Max, is putting their movie slate, or is getting Warner Brothers movie slate on there. So we just watched Denzel Washington's newest movie, The Little Things.
I just watched that too. I watched that 2 nights ago.
I thought it was a very good movie. It was a very dry movie, and it was a very unhappy movie.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but I thought it was a good movie.
I agree. Yeah,
kind of a.
It kind of is like leaves you a little unsatisfied at the end of it.
Oh, very, very.
Yeah.
Not to the degree of like No Country for Old Men,
right?
Which was a great movie, but the ending of it was just like, you fucking for real?
Yeah.
Like, that's how you're gonna end it?
You're gonna leave me like that? Really?
So I mean, it was a little more satisfying than that, but it fit going on streaming instead of theater. The biggest gripe I've had, and Netflix is actually getting way better about it, but the biggest gripe I've had about Netflix movies, probably the previous 4-5 years, is that they are great until the end.
Oh yeah.
I mean, even, but now like the new ones that they're doing have been really good. Like the what is it? 6 Underground. I thought it was really good. Yeah. The Old Guard.
That was good.
Honestly, I've decided that anything with Charlize Theron in it is fucking good.
Well, she's one of probably the best, probably my favorite actress. Yeah, let's be honest. She can do anything. She can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
She's my Gary Oldman.
Yeah. I'm with you.
The movie might suck, but she's perfect.
Right.
He's perfect in everything he does.
Yep.
The movie might blow, but he's perfect.
I'm 100% with you on both those counts.
Which, speaking of Gary Oldman, I totally watched True Romance again. Love that movie.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Tarantino flick. I know he didn't direct it, but he wrote it.
Yeah, it's badass.
Yeah.
I'd probably watch more movies, but I don't have internet access to where I live, I don't have Netflix or anything anymore, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah, that would kill me.
Yeah, but you know what? You get to live.
Yeah, maybe, I guess.
It would be nice to veg out on a movie with the baby cradled in your arm, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 4 a.m. Yeah. He's finally getting to the point where he'll sleep almost till 5 a.m. So
nice.
That's pretty amazing.
I tell you what, the coolest thing, we were living in Pittsburgh. Quentin was still a newborn. There was one morning that he woke us up, not crying. He was just in his crib, and he couldn't have been more than 3-4 months old, but he was in there talking to himself. And he was having a good conversation. I mean, and you know, we just laid in bed and listened to that on the baby monitor, and it was so cool. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. There are little things like that'll stick with you.
Yep.
Well, man, I think.
And then there's the time that they just have such a huge messy poop that goes everywhere, and you're just like,
Luckily, we haven't had that yet.
oh, when they get to a toddler, you'll be fishing a turd out of the tub. I guarantee you.
I'm sure it's coming. But
Yeah.
we've been lucky there so far. It hasn't had no blowouts or anything yet.
Yeah, I fished a turd or two out of the bathtub.
must be a boy thing. My girls never really did that.
I was going to say I wouldn't know. You know?
Yeah.
He's really good at trying to pee on you.
Yeah.
As soon as you pull his diaper down, he's going.
Well, you know, it's just a sensation thing. The air hits it, and it's like, oh!
I still do that. I still do that to this day.
I try and pull it down and then let the air hit it and then put the diaper back on it real quick.
Yep.
And then I wait. And I think he's gone, and then I pull it back off, and then there he goes. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of psychs you out.
It's like, ha-ha, motherfucker! Ha-ha!
Yep.
False alarm! I gotcha!
Well, all right, Jarrett. How about you give people your Instagram one more time?
I should have looked it up, but I'm pretty sure it's jl.woodworks on Instagram.
All right. Everyone check it out. There's some crazy cool shit on there. And if you have some smaller projects that you need done, you get a hold of Jarrett because he's a bad motherfucker.
Thank you.
He's a BAMF.
Bamf.
Bam.
Yeah.
I'll have to put that on my
There you go.
Instagram now.
Because we said so.
Yep.
Yep. I will certify it.
All right. So we're looking forward to seeing some more woodworks. Definitely looking forward to seeing some more jams.
Yeah.
And playing with you guys again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
Maybe do some video work for you guys before too long.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yep. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening, especially taking some time away from the young one.
Yeah,
I know that's hard to do when they're that little.
No problem.
Man,
hopefully you won't be in too much trouble for it.
No, maybe. No, hopefully not. Hopefully they're asleep.
Keep doing everything you're doing there because we're fans.
Absolutely.
We love it, so keep it coming. For all of you out there listening or watching, please do subscribe, share, rate us, do whatever you can do to help spread the word, spread the love. We really appreciate it. We'll in the show notes, I'll make sure to put all the cool deals you can get with promo codes like thebeardstruggle.com and Eargasm. You can get discounts for cool shit by using our promo codes, and it's a great way to help support the podcast, and we appreciate that too.
And if you're a business owner out there that would like to sponsor, we can totally do some short commercials for the podcast for a nominal fee.
and anyone out there listening that has an idea of what they would like to hear on this show, or what they like about it, what they don't like about it, give us some feedback, man. We're totally open to that. We'd like to give you more of what you like, and
if you or of somebody that should be on the podcast, reach out to us.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got an open calendar for 2021. We're trying to fill it, so hop on board.
Yeah. And on that note, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks again, Jarrett.
Thanks for having me.
Matt, love you, brother.
Thanks, Zach.
All right. And all you guys out there, we'll see you next time. Oh, and fucking diamond hands. Hold that shit, brothers. Hold till the moon. All right. Later.